Our next inductee is Martha Garzon. To present Martha's Hall of Honor plaque is former coach and fellow Hall of Honor honoree Hugh Kurtler.
Martha Garzon was a four-year letter winner in tennis and was a key member of SMSU's tennis program that was dominant, not only in the conference, but regionally and nationally as well. A native of Columbia, Garzon made an immediate impact on the team, earning all conference honors her freshman season and helping lead the Mustangs to both the NAI district and conference championships in 1989. Garzon earned all conference honors in both singles and doubles in each of her four seasons, including winning the 1992 conference #1 doubles championship with partner Leslie Jacobson. A three-time NAI All-District honoree in both singles and doubles, Garzon was a member of 4 conference and 4 NAI district championship teams. She helped the Mustangs finish 12th, 11th, 16th, and 14th at the NAI National Championships. Her senior season in 1992 was one of the best in team history. She won 28 singles matches during the season, including 4 at the NAI National Championships, to become the first and only SMSU player to earn NAI First Team All-American honors in singles. She finished as the 16th ranked singles player in NAI and was ranked 17th in the final doubles ranking with Jacobson. Garzon finished her career ranking 4th in school history with 92 singles victories and ranked 6th in school history with 79 doubles victories. Following her career at SMSU, Garzon competed professionally on the WTA Tour for 6 seasons in both singles and doubles.
Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Martha Garzon.
Welcome to the ML.
Thank you. It's
Mustang
nice to
Lounge.
be here.
Yes. We're going to change this every time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Columbia to Marshall.
I know.
That's the typical path for most people. But
Exactly.
talk about the process of coming to Southwest. A lot of convincing by Coach Hugh Kurtler and to convince you and your family to come to a small town here in the state of Minnesota. How did that happen?
Serendipity. I did not choose this school. The school chose me. Actually, Coach Hugh chose me. I was already going to school in Colombia. I was gonna become an architect. I had already stopped playing tennis, and Coach had he was sending me letters for about 2 years, asking my dad to let me come to the school. And my dad's philosophy was that nobody was going to leave the house until we all got married, even to go to a different city to go to school. So I had a boyfriend that my dad did not like. And so after 2 years of Coach Hugh trying, he said, well, here's the perfect solution. So we're going to ship her to the U.S. and see if we can break that up. So that's how I ended up here.
Great. Martha, you were a member of 4 conference championship teams, also placed high in the NAIA championships. Can you explain the commitment not only for yourself but your teammates to be the best? Not everybody can be the #1 singles player on the team or the #1 doubles, but everybody has to come together to get points for your team to advance. Just talk about what you and your teammates went through to commit to be the best that you could be.
It was a lot. It was a lot of team effort between everybody. But what was so cool was that I guess I was so young at that point that everything that we did, I never realized what we were doing. I was just like a kid in a candy store. Everything was new. I was playing juniors in Colombia, and I was for the most part just playing singles and never really did any doubles or any team competitions. And when I got here, I finally have a team of 5 more people with me, and a lot of them were from different countries, so it felt like I had a family. I had a coach that was a father figure for me. So everything that we did, it just came as a surprise. You know, now that I read all the stuff that we did, I was like, wow, we did all that. So it was every day that I loved it. Every minute that I spent here, it was new, and I wanted to just savor everything that I was doing.
How about Martha? Some of those great memories that you had with your teammates, practicing indoors, trying to, there's a lot of stories about that. Living in Marshall, road trips, just some of those memories with your teammates.
I think one of the greatest memories was my shock when I got here and I saw that we were gonna be practicing on a gymnasium floor. It was a wooden floor. I had never played on anything besides clay courts. So when I got here and there's this wood floor and we're supposed to be hitting the ball, you can't even get ready, to hit the ball and the ball's already gone by. So that was a shock, and it was a challenge, to try and pick up the speed. Um, the trips in the van, just going to different places and going to all these cool restaurants and that coach you would take us and playing the team matches that we were playing. Again, I wasn't used to any of that. It was just me playing in a singles tournament, in the juniors.
Yes. Your senior year, we mentioned you're a first team All American in singles in 1992. You won 4 matches at the NAI championships. Did you know your senior season that something could be special that year? I mean, you had some experience obviously playing college, but what was the key to your success that season?
Um, I think again, I had no idea all the things that we were doing, but as my English got better, as my tennis got better, as I learned more about doubles, because I had no idea how to play doubles when I got here. It was because of Coach Hugh that he started explaining, the math on how this works, what are the possibilities, what are the high percentage things that you should be doing. It just started making more sense. And playing with the same person for a while, getting to know that player and what she liked and how she responded, that just made it better. And I actually I was it was the busiest year. I was taking as many courses as I could so that I could graduate. I was helping coach you and coaching the team. I was working at the Best Western, and I was living off campus, and I was, you know, doing all kinds of stuff. But it was like the best year, and when I was the busiest. So I guess I was focused. I had to be focused.
You mentioned Coach Kurtler. Obviously, he was an important part of your life and still today. What made Coach so special to get the most out of you and your teammates on and off the court?
I think again it was the fact that it wasn't he wasn't, in my opinion, doing what he was doing because it was his job. He loved what he was doing. He loved teaching, and it was that personal touch that I felt from the very first moment that I got here. My English was skills were not that great, so I couldn't really understand a lot of the explanations that he was giving, but I was so happy to pick up on one or two words, and I would dissect them and try to figure out exactly what he said. And when he would say, "Well, the net is lower in the middle and is higher on the side, so that means you better go through the middle so that you have higher possibilities of winning." And I was like, "Oh my God, that makes so much more sense." So, and he would say, "You don't have to be playing 100% to win. You could win with 70%." So I was like, I never thought about that because I've always been pretty much a perfectionist. So when I would hear things like that, it would make so much more sense. And talking to him in his office every time that we would go to a match, and after we would come back, we would have conversations. And it wasn't only about how was the match. It was about how are you feeling, how are you coping up with the weather, are you lonely? It was, I miss my family, and he was my family when I was here. So I loved everything that he was doing. He would give me books to read to improve my English, and just ideas, and he would help me. It was really sweet.
Following your career, you did play professional for 6 years, and following that, now what keeps you busy and day to day for Martha?
Tennis still. After I graduated from here, I I thought that I was going to continue with my degree, which was hotel and restaurant management. So I got a job at a Hyatt in Hilton Head Island. So I completely dropped tennis and I started working and at the hotel. And again, serendipity. For some reason, I had agreed with the hotel that they were going to help me get my work permit. You get a 1-year practical training after you graduate. So 7 months into my job, I started talking to my supervisor and about my work permit because time is running out. So he kept giving me the runaround, and then finally I put my foot down and I was like, "There's 5 more months, and I gotta go back home. So what are we gonna do?" So he said basically, sorry, the Hyatt doesn't have the policy of doing work permits. So I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So somehow I knew someone that knew someone that was the director at a club, and she was leaving, and her head coach was leaving. So they were desperate for somebody, anybody, a tennis coach. So this guy hooked me up with this girl, and she interviewed me, and I told him, I have a few months. If you help me with my work permit, I will be more than happy to work. So they did. I worked there, and then they got my work permit. And after that, I always had the dream about playing professional. But when I was in Colombia, that was it was a dream. It was things that you see on TV. I didn't come from a family with a lot of money, so it was very difficult for me to travel and do all these things. But it was a dream. So when I started working, I thought, well, this is the land of opportunity. There's a tournament right down the street, so why don't I play and see how it goes? So I would work, and then I would go play a tournament, and then I would work again, make more money, and then play another tournament. So then, it got better, and I started playing more and more tournaments, and I started playing professional full time for about 6 years. And then after that, I ran out of money.
Yes.
I had to get a real job, and so I thought, I already tried getting out of tennis, and I love tennis too much. So I got a job as a tennis director at a club in North Carolina, and I worked there for about 8 years, and it was great because when I got there, they had nothing. They had 4 courts and a nice membership that was hungry for a program. So I brought this friend of mine who was also a tennis player, the same kind of background. She went to Oklahoma State, and she was already working for a company as a purchasing manager. So I said, hey, why don't we go and run this place? So she quit. We went up there and we ran it. We went from zero, with not knowing who played tennis, to being busy and having clinics from Monday through Saturday. And so I did that for 8 years, and I got tired. It was way too physical, and then came back to Hilton Head, and eventually I ended up in Fort Lauderdale, where I'm still teaching my private lessons. The people that I used to teach in between my job in North Carolina, I'm still teaching them. I have a clothing company that I'm trying to get going, some protection clothing for people like me that have to spend a lot of time in the sun. And anything that has to do with tennis, I love it. I'm still playing. I'm coaching. I'm trying to put together tennis trips around the U.S. And so, I plan on becoming more involved as time goes by.
Well, it's a great story. Martha, congratulations, a tremendous honor. Martha Garzon, our
Thank
latest
you.
inductee.